At this time, I would like to create the invocation, confession, and absolution sections. I still have the remnants of the one left over from Christmas, but I want to add it to match the new theme here that has the New Year, New You. So I could create it from scratch. What I'm going to do is kind of use this as a template, and then once I have the template set, I can just recreate slides without having to reset the font over and over again. What I'm going to do is open the video image bin. You can click up here and get the view and then open the video image bin from there, or you can hit Control V. And Brittany has created backgrounds for us. You can make your own, but since I have this here, I'm going to use Brittany's. And I had to make a page last time since we didn't have one. So I'm going to leave this sit here. Okay. And I do see that this gray is now not necessarily, oops, undo that. This gray is not necessarily contrasting as much as I would like to. For the pastor's words, I usually pick a gray that stands out because that's the part they're reading. And then for the congregational responses, I pick a color that matches the theme. That's usually pretty bright, pretty contrasting, and then I bold it, which it already is. However, this is not what we want for this upcoming week. So I'm just going to copy this. And then in here, if I right click, there are two options, paste and match style. If I do paste, it pastes it directly as it would be from the source content, which obviously is not quite what I want. So I'm going to undo that. You can either undo from the edit menu or you can use Command Z. But let's try this again. I'm going to paste and match style. And now this has the color and the formatting that I want. Technically this says all. So I'm going to go and do that. Before I go too far, I do want to look at it and see how it shows up. So I can do that in one of two ways. Either I can click on it here and I can see that contrast seems to be appropriate, or I can go up to output and this is how it would appear on the screen in church for the people that are there. I think this gray should be dark enough. I'm tempted to make it just a smidge darker, but considering it's the pastoral words, and it doesn't have to be read by the congregation, I'm going to stop there. I do see that amen is still in Spanish, so let me go back there and correct that. And I usually do put a blank one at the end, which I'm going to do now before I forget. Okay. And then from here, I can use, sorry, I went too far. I can use what I've previously established to just keep copying and pasting. I may, actually now that I think about it, sometimes the pastor does a little bit of speaking at the beginning, so I'm just going to delete that. And because I want it to stay consistent throughout, I think hopefully that should be at the top. I'm a little bit concerned about. Yes, okay. What I'm doing right now is I want them to all stay consistently in the same place as the page gets turned. So I moved that up to the top, I centered it, and now as I copy and paste everything from there, it should automatically stay in the same place no matter how long the words get as they go underneath here. We are under the confession portion, so I'm going to open my video image bin and find the confession, and I'll make that the background. So as it goes from one to the next, the heading changes. I see there are pastoral words here. Copy that. Paste and match style in there. Match the words for all. Copy. And paste and match style there. Close this now. So I'll just copy and paste each slide. This one, I think, usually based on the boundaries we have set, I don't think any more than the pastoral words are going to fit here. So I'm just going to paste and match style. Yes, it's a little bit low. I'll move that up. So actually what I'm going to do is copy and paste the previous one so that this goes back to where my original was. And this I don't think is going to fit all on one slide. So I'm going to split this up into two halves. Copy this. Paste and match style. And I still have to stay inside those lines. Okay, I'm going to undo that so it goes back to where it originally was. I'm going to delete that. Not as much fit on the slide as I thought it would. That's words and actions. Notice that the font size on this is about 70. That's what works in our space. If you need a different font size, you can set yours to be something a little bit different. Utility. And part of the reason I'm trying to keep this high on the screen instead of going lower is because I want to make sure everybody in our space can see all the way down to the bottom. Again, since in our space, we have a temporary space now, the screen's not as high as it would be in a permanent space, worship space. The people can't always see the bottom of the screen. So I'm trying to keep all of the words a little bit further north, especially if the people are the ones that have to be speaking them. I am going to, I see there's a pastoral section next. So I'm going to copy and paste that because that's set for the pastoral words, but it is the proclamation of forgiveness section. So open my video image bin and put this background here. Proclamation of forgiveness. Let's maybe go to here. Paste and match style, if that's appropriate. Copy, paste, the next one. This one may be a little bit short, but I think it would be better to get all of the next section together on the same screen. And since the pastor is italicized, the last section, I could also add italics there if I wanted to. This font doesn't lend itself to that. I may decide to go against the italics here. This period. Okay. Okay, so now I need to decide. There is an amen here. I need to make a couple decisions as to how I do that. So I'm going to pause and resume the video once I decide. Okay, so just to wrap up, what I decided to do was take the first half of the sentence and stop at a period here and enter it on this screen, which left just a little bit of space there and just enough room to fit the amen at the proclamation of forgiveness. And then I put the prayer here. The font I made just a little bit smaller here in order to fit so that on the next screen I could fit the 70-point font and the amen at the bottom there. So that would be how to set the invocation, the confession, and the absolution or proclamation of forgiveness. It also gives you a good idea of how to copy and paste from another source into a pre-existing where you have your font and your color set so that you don't have to keep reinventing those over and over again. So hopefully this helps as you need to create text for spoken word, and we'll see you in the next video.